Betty, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone! I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
No one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle.
You can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Lord, you can imagine where it goes from here.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Zedos Game podcast, and this is a Star Wars special this week. Joining me today is Sacha Allari. Say hello, Sach.
Hey.
And we have Leo Van-Dammage from the What's the Damage podcast.
Hey guys, that's 2 weeks in a row, huh?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's only because you recorded my podcast with me shortly just before we started this.
That's right. Yes.
And now I'm staying because I've ordered pizza.
Yes. There'll be. It's going to be pizza time.
You just want to be heard, Leo. And do you know what? This is going to be a Star Wars podcast. My input is going to be very minimal.
I'm a bit afraid though. If this is a Rogue One special, like I was going to go into spoilers.
It's a Star Wars special.
Okay, fair enough.
You don't. I think you can talk about Rogue One without going into spoilers.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, there may be spoilers for the other episodes, so or anything else, other Star Wars.
Living under a rock.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Listen.
So you've been warned. So if you want to continue listening to this, and please do so. Please.
Are you okay? You're reading shit off your phone at the same time.
Yeah.
Please be aware. I'll do this bit for you, shall I? This is a spoiler. This is not a spoiler-free zone. Spoilers will happen here. If you haven't seen Rogue One, like I haven't, you're about to have a film spoiled for you, like I have, or like I will. Can I just ask one question before we go any further? Is Donnie Yen any good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently he's badass.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
You'll be.
I'm watching it tomorrow. I mean, I'll watch it tomorrow regardless. I think I'll figure out a way. So yeah, it should be quite good. But I've heard good things from everybody.
Okay, so getting back to the nitty gritty, I guess we'll start off with Rogue One. Sach, what did you think of the film?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. Really did. Was well up my alley, as it always would have been. Yeah, I've got there are like 3 things that I'd say that'd stop it from being a perfect 10, but I'd give it a solid 9.
Solid 9. Okay.
Solid 9. It had a lot of rewatch quality on the second viewing that I saw it at the IMAX.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot, looking out for certain things that I didn't know that was there before, seeing certain things that I didn't know was there before, and just general stuff, man. There's a lot in this movie if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan. It's like being taken to fucking Willy Wonka's fucking candy ride, really, if you're an old school trilogy enthusiast, And hell, there's even good stuff if you're fans of the prequels in there that, that you pick up. But I mean, like, you'd have to be like the super Star Wars fan to get those,
Well, yeah, coming to that, do you think this film fits in? Because there's I have issues with it, and I'm gonna go to. I like the film, but I'm gonna go into my issues with it.
Okay.
And one of my issues with it is that.
Is this a spoiler?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's just that every time you see a planet, you see the name.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very un-Star Wars.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be. It's not part of the main Skywalker saga. This is what differentiates it from the rest of the series. I've got no problem with it. They said that the minute they said they weren't putting the opening crawl at the start, they announced that. They said, we're not doing it. And sure, they went a more modern way of telling a Star Wars film. Do you know what I mean? Like, the Star Wars films have always been like, a nod to stuff like Flash Gordon's and serials of the 1940s and 30s. That's why you have the wipes. In modern filmmaking, you would never have the wipes. You know what I mean? In fact, the first thing they tell you in film school is wipes are no good. Mm-hmm. It's amateurish. But Lucas did it anyway because it was a nod to that particular Saturday morning matinee kind of, feel. And that's what it was. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
So this film has wipes?
No, none. It's filmed like a normal film. And more importantly, it's a war film. Okay? It's a war film, this film. No, straight up. This is Star Wars, as Gareth Edwards keeps saying. This is the first true war film. See that last end bullshit battle at the end of Attack of the fucking Clones? Okay,
I actually like that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was whatever for me. That was like, okay, cool. I want real Jedis doing real shit.
Is that beach battle worth it? Then?
Yes.
Yeah,
I remember seeing the poster for it.
Yeah.
And it looked really shit.
No.
It looked like it was made on paint.
No, mate. No.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
The beach poster with the Death Star background.
Yeah.
It looked like it was made on paint.
No, the whole last of that film is really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
But I mean, back to the point. They said from the get-go, this is going to be a very different Star Wars film. They said the minute they dropped the opening crawl, they were going to make it different. And this is what differentiates the anthology films, as I'm going to still keep calling them, than the Skywalker Saga films. You know what I mean? I thought it was a very bold move to do that, to put the planets and stuff. When I first saw that, I was like, it was a bit weird.
Apple would call it brave.
Okay, at first I thought it was weird being a long-term Star Wars fan, but when it came up the second time, I was already invested in the world and those characters that didn't bother me. You know what I mean? It just didn't bother me because the story was good, the film was good. You know what I mean? And when the film's fucking dynamite, you know what I mean? That shit shouldn't matter. It not having an opening crawl shouldn't matter because they told you going in. You know what I mean? If you're a hardcore Star Wars fan and been following this movie from start to finish, they announced that weeks before the movies. And you know what? They even did an opening crawl for this movie. They actually did it. And, they decided to go without it. And you know what? Bold move, Catherine Kennedy.
No. It's not a bold move. It's a brave move.
Well, yeah, brave move.
As I keep telling you, that's the Apple way of seeing things. It's brave to remove.
Okay, cool. Bold, brave, cool, whatever term. Same.
That's gone right over your head.
It has. But I'm glad you mentioned it. That's cool. Let me work on my own terminology, Joe. Stop correcting me.
No. Okay. So basically, Apple removed something from one of their phones, and they said it was a brave move.
Okay,
and
right.
It's not brave to remove something. you just do it.
Well, they're showing it at 9:45 tomorrow morning, so I'm going to watch it.
That's cool. I'm not watching it live.
That's fine. I don't want any dickheads in the cinema.
That's cool. All right.
Everyone's going to be at work. I got the day off, so I'm off now. So I'm going to go fucking watch it tomorrow, based on what you guys are saying.
But you obviously like that nostalgia there. That's what makes a Star Wars movie for you.
Nostalgia. I don't really like nostalgia in terms of Star Wars. I think that these last two films are deeply over nostalgic.
Well, they kind of have to be.
Yeah, and I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm more on the same page of what George Lucas said. Like I think a year ago, he said that what he was trying to do with the prequels introduce something new, and he did do that.
Yeah.
And for episode 7, he didn't Starkiller Base. Come on, man. Do something new. Do something different.
On that rationale though, do you love Terminator 2?
Yes, I do.
You do? Is that one of the best movies ever made?
Yes, it is.
One of the best movies ever made, okay?
I agree.
On that rationale, do you like Jurassic World?
Yes.
How great is Jurassic World?
It's good.
Then shut the fuck up then.
It's not a good film. No. It's not a great film.
It's not a great film?
It's a good film.
It's a good film. Well, my problem is, alright, you love those two films, and let me go back to Terminator 2. Terminator 2, is it not the same damn movie as Terminator 1, just with little differences, but they move the story, they move it onwards because they move it onwards. Hear me out.
I have to interrupt there just for a quick. It's not the same damn movie. Like storyline wise, it may be.
Well, that's the whole point I'm trying to say. It is the same damn movie.
But the thing is, it's not because
it is. When you break it down.
Hold on. When you watch a film, when you watch a film, right? You take it. The whole film needs to be essentially the same movie.
Yeah.
That's like saying Point Break and Fast and Furious is essentially the same movie. Just because the storyline is essentially the same doesn't make it the same movie. There are aspects of it on if you break it down
Yeah.
like that, then almost every film is like there's what, maybe 10 storylines that have ever existed.
Yeah, of course.
Different variations. But Terminator 2 is like it's the same, but it's completely different. Like there are set pieces in that film that completely shit on almost anything ever.
True.
So that's all.
True. I get what you mean. I totally agree with you, and I'm not attacking that film in that way. But you said it yourself.
I will fight any man.
Of course. But you said it yourself. But James Cameron fully admits he remade the first movie. That movie was what he intended Terminator to be, from the fact that fucking I was going to say Edward Norton, but it's not Edward Norton. It's
Furlong.
No, T-1000. Robert Patrick was what the Terminator was supposed to look like, because originally when he wrote the Terminator, he wanted Lance Henriksen as the role of the Terminator, but no studio would back it.
Lance Henriksen?
They wanted
Bishop.
Oh, Wayland.
Bishop, who ends up being the cop in the original.
No, he's
Terminator.
not Wayland.
But
he is in Predator vs. Alien.
Yeah, that one.
My bad.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
But
Pumpkinhead.
You know what I mean? He wanted someone.
You know the film.
He wanted someone that would blend in. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Arnold doesn't blend in, but that's what he wanted. So
laughing about Pumpkinhead because that's such a far out. Nobody knows about that film.
Oh my god, that's a film of obscurity.
Yeah, that's how you know I was. That's why I belong in this podcast sometimes.
But I mean, you know, Force Awakens is exactly that. Yeah, it's a remake of A New Hope. They always said it would be.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Fair enough.
They always said it would be, and to be quite honest, it's you know, Star Wars has been gone for so long at this point, like 10 years.
Yeah,
10 years.
That's
still a long time. That's a decade. Most movie sequels come 5 years later if they had a gap.
Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man that came out. There was no gap. It just like, here's a new one. You got to accept it. Mm-hmm. Star Wars, there's always been a freaking gap. Okay, generation gap, I might say. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people disagree with me and cry and whatever because they're like, oh, it's the same as The New Hope. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Yeah, they're trying to... Disney have just bought this fucking IP for $4 billion. Okay, for $4 billion. They're not going to take a risk, even though they don't need to.
They
played it very safe.
They bought Star Wars... They bought Lucasfilm for $4 billion, not Star Wars.
Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is...
No, you just said...
They invested a lot riding on this film. They were going to play it safe. Alright? Because do you know why? They're a studio. Right? Don't forget that. They're not independent filmmakers like George Lucas and James Cameron. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're not. If George Lucas was behind it, we would have got a completely different episode 7.
Doesn't George Lucas have a studio as Lucasfilm?
Not anymore.
He sold it to Disney.
Disney bought that and DreamWorks and... Is DreamWorks?
No, they didn't buy DreamWorks.
ILM,
that's it. Industrial Light.
Yeah. Mm. So do you know what I mean? Like Lucas sold the baby. Okay, he sold the baby. He gave the baby up to the orphanage. You know what I mean? The new foster parents are in charge, and shit's happening. You know what I mean? Shit's happening with this kid. All right, and this is what happened. Different opportunities, etc. You know, like
again, I'm not complaining that any of these films are bad. I'm just saying that.
But you are clearly.
No, because
you just said you had a problem with it.
As these films go, you're circling around an era.
Yeah.
And Jurassic World wasn't circling around the era; it moved on.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but they're still rehashing the same storyline.
It's a similar storyline,
no,
but
it's
not
the exact
the same
storyline.
No, it isn't.
The only difference is the park is actually open.
Is that the same storyline?
Well, yeah.
No, it's not.
Well, yeah.
The park wasn't fucking open.
Well,
it was. They brought these scientists to say if it was okay to open the park.
Can I tie break on this? You're both right.
Yeah, he's right.
You're both right because it is that yes, it is the same storyline. Especially like the biggest part of that makes it the main storyline, Joe. You've got to take this one on the chin. Is the kids. With the car.
Okay, yeah, I accept that.
Yeah. Right, that's but you're wrong, Sach, at the same time, because he is right. It is open at the same time, and it becomes a completely different dynamic there altogether.
Yeah,
I think
more bodies to kill.
I think the biggest change from that franchise, whether you choose to accept it or not, is the second one.
Yeah, Yeah, you're absolutely
because
right.
that went from like being a park with loads of dinosaurs to essentially being Godzilla.
Yeah.
Because that's what that was. But anyway, that's my.
But yeah, no,
that's right. When you guys start getting heated, I'll come and break it up.
Yeah.
Because I'm impartial when it comes to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really massively into it.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, there is something that I heard just off the back. I don't know if you guys at one point you want to discuss this in your podcast today, but the whole like Jar Jar being fucking above the Emperor. Have you heard the theory?
Oh yeah.
Right, I love that fucking.
Oh yeah,
idea.
A lot of people do.
I absolutely love that idea, and the more I think about it, I go, Count Dooku really did come from nowhere.
Yeah.
He just sort of turned up one day and was like, I'm Count Dooku. But it's okay because it's Christopher Lee. So you're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's Christopher Lee.
You accept it.
But then you look at all like the storyline.
But what could have been?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
And even
That's
even
why-
the little clues that he left in episode 1.
That's why my theory about like, just because maybe somebody has the balls to do what I hope they do in this new trilogy.
I don't think so.
Which is,
I don't think.
Rey a bad girl, make Rey get Rey to turn dark side, and Kylo Ren is actually Ben.
Oh, he's on. There's no one that's gonna like that character in the way that if that is the thing. He killed one of the most beloved characters.
That's what he had to do, though, right? He
Sure.
had to do that to become. There was a beautiful moment just before where he kills. I've watched it because I got it on Blu-ray, so I've watched it a few times now. Just before he kills his dad, you see, and he like sort of passing on to. He's like, oh my god, he's gonna come back to the light side, and that light side is like through the sun is like
yeah.
And then when he kills Han Solo, spoiler alert, he kills Han Solo, and then it goes dark. That's him like now in the dark side. He's fully in. But like, what if that? Because if he trained with Luke, what if Luke's like, look, we need to kill, because they mention Emperor, not Emperor, Snoke, yeah? They talk about Snoke in hushed terms in the prequels.
No, that's not Snoke. That's
Is it not?
No. Well, that's the thing. No one knows yet. But I see where you're coming from with the interweb and stuff. See, there's this. You're referring to Darth Plagueis.
Yeah,
that's it.
Darth Plagueis. We don't know that.
Which one was Plagueis?
Plagueis is the one that trained Palpatine.
Palpatine.
Yeah.
Oh, remind me, who the fuck is Palpatine?
Palpatine is the
Emperor in the original.
Yeah,
trilogy.
is that not Snoke?
No.
Well, we don't know yet.
That's what I thought. I thought he was the one who taught the other fucking dude who taught the Emperor.
It could be.
Well, it could be, but no one knows who Snoke is yet. We gotta watch episode 8.
I love that bit when they introduce Snoke.
Yeah. He's got the same music cue as episode 3, so people are speculating that that's got to be Plagueis.
Because when Palpatine talks to Anakin Skywalker at the opera thing or whatever the fuck that thing is in episode 3. That music cue John Williams has is the same as every time Snoke's on screen in episode 7, and that's where everyone's like talking about.
So like inadvertently may be correct.
Yeah.
But that's the big mystery about it.
That's the theory, right?
So that's the theory because they've asked them and they're like, no, they've denied it or said we're not saying shit. So maybe it is that. But I'm
trying to get my theory out there as much as I can, because when it ends up, if it ends up being right, oh my god, I want everyone to go, fucking Leo said that.
Well, there's proof of it now.
Yeah, there is.
That Kylo, basically, I'm just going to boil it down one quickly. Basically, Kylo Ren is an infiltrator based on Luke Skywalker, right? He's an infiltrator to infiltrate the dark side. And then that whole bit where he's battling whether or not to kill his father was his way of being like, I need to do this.
Yeah,
so allegiance. I can go in, so I can show allegiance, so I can go in and murk everybody. The other thing that doesn't make sense to me, does not make sense to me, is someone could explain this to me. Why is he like talking to Darth Vader's skull thing, like the mask? Well, hold on. Why is he talking to Darth Vader? Because when Darth Vader redeemed himself at the end of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, so why is he talking to him as if he's like a mecha of darkness? Could it be that he's talking to him because he's like, I need your guidance. I need to know how to do this, how to infiltrate the dark side and redeem myself and come back out. Like, that might coincide with my theory. You never know. I'm just saying. But otherwise, if that's not it, why the fuck is he talking to him? Because essentially, Darth Vader by the Sith would be seen as a traitor because he redeemed himself, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
I think so. Is that right?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know how they would see him, but I'm just assuming that, like,
Yeah.
if you redeemed yourself and because you killed the Emperor,
Yeah.
Emperor Palpatine, right?
See,
So
this
then
is-
you would be shunned from the Sith instead of revered as he is by Kylo Ren, unless Kylo Ren is using him as an idol to turn around and say, hold on a minute, I need your guidance because I'm going to have to kill my dad and do this deep shit for me to then come out at the end redeemed, right? Because, you know, and then like, who the fuck knows, you know, but Luke Skywalker.
But this is the thing though, this is the
dick.
beauty of what I like about Star Wars now, is that we don't know. It's not based on a book, it's not based on, they've gone back to old school of filmmaking where we got to wait a few years to find out the outcome of that.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of a bitch when you're watching a TV show like Game of Thrones and then it ends on an episode and you're like, fuck the next episode. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on. But
so what I'm showing these guys right now is a picture of like a cross picture between Kylo Ren, not Kylo Ren, sorry, Rey, and Luke Skywalker at the end of Force Awakens, and when she's holding the lightsaber out towards him, but some clever fucker on the internet has changed the lightsaber to a fleshlight, and for those guys who don't know what a fleshlight is, you're lying.
Pocket pussy, motherfucker.
You're just fucking lying. But yeah, there you go.
But yeah,
yeah, back to Rogue One.
Yeah, again, as I'm saying, that last 10 minutes of that film, especially.
Yeah.
Wow, what a hit! And okay, there's one.
I don't want to mention the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm changing gears.
Talk about it. You can talk about it.
Trust me. No,
I don't want to talk about it.
But all I will say is it does lead very nicely.
Are you not going to talk about it? But you're going to talk about it.
No, because you know which bit I don't want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bit is sacred ground for anyone.
Yeah.
All right. I will not go into
talking
that.
about I'm doing an action right now.
Oh no.
No.
But it's in there, right?
Possibly.
Possibly.
No, she turns her back. I know. I've seen it. They show her face.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, okay.
Well, I know that already. Somebody ruined it for me.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say that. No, I'm not going to say that on the.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to say that on the podcast. But all I'm going to say is it ties right in to A New Hope. Like if it was almost moments before.
Yeah, it literally is.
Like literally seconds before. You feel like you need to jump into A New Hope. And I think that's why they did these two films as they've done. They're jump-in points for new fans. Just like the prequels before them, you understand the marketing, and I get, you've said it a bunch of times.
And it's still very evident that people don't know what this film is.
Yeah, that is true. But you know what? At the same time, I was speaking to a friend of mine, and she'd seen episode 7, and she loved it. She loved it, but she hadn't gone back and watched the original ones. Okay, because she's like, these are new characters now. I don't feel the need to go watch.
Well, you don't need to.
You don't need to. But you know what? She went and saw Rogue One, and then she was like, I was expecting this to be like the next one, but now I need to know what happens. You know what I mean? So now she's kind of forced to watch the old one. You know what I mean? Like 4, 5, and 6 to get up to speed now. So there's no, you know what I mean? There's no going round because she wants questions answered and stuff like that. So in that retrospect, I think it's smart. The other thing is with Rogue One, I think with episode 7, they didn't hit China. They're going to hit China with Rogue One.
Yeah, maybe.
Because
but they just released The Wall in China, the one that Matt Damon's in, and that's cleaning up.
Oh, okay.
That's cleaning up pretty well.
So I mean,
yeah, but it's like, so there's a sorry, just as you said that, I remembered there is a edited version of the trailer of Star Wars.
Oh right.
Oh yeah.
For the new Rogue One trailer that is all done again.
Yeah,
I figured as much. Because
Yeah,
that's just it. I mean,
it's like he's not in it a lot.
Yeah. No. Well, no.
Well, he's in it a fair chunk.
But he's not got a lot of lines. He's very comic relief.
No,
right?
he's got lines.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I'm just going off what I've heard. But
No.
there is an edited version of the trailer with all him specifically for that market.
Yeah.
I say he's in it. I say he's in it about 30-40% of the time.
So what doesn't make sense to me is why some films hit in China and some films don't. Like, why Warhammer does.
Well,
is there a huge market of Warhammer?
Well, you got to understand. You've got to understand with Warhammer. I can answer that question. With RPGs of that nature, online RPGs of that nature, China and the East, that's their forte. You know what I mean? And Leo looks... That's their forte. You know what I mean? All online gaming, majority of it, they're the guys that... You know what I mean? Like EVE Online, they play that stuff. Warcraft, that's the core audience there. So Warcraft was like a huge IP for them. You know what I mean? They're the game... You know, like, there's a lot of them. But the thing is, Star Wars was never big there. You know what I mean? Because it never even came out in cinema there. You know what I mean? Worldwide. China's a developing country. You know what I mean? In fact, now it's not a developing country. It's a superpower now. You know what I mean? It's one of the biggest countries in the world. And now they got loads of multiplex. That's why they go for the Chinese market a lot these days with these big films. So Disney was smart with that. They... You know what I mean? Like, technically, maybe they should have put an Oriental guy in Force Awakens, but you know what I mean? They didn't, and they missed out on that market because they thought maybe it'll catch on because it's science fiction fantasy. Didn't, but Rogue One was their second wind at that. You know what I mean? Their second wind at that. Someone at Disney was smart enough to go, yo, Donnie Yen. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? Maybe, we'll just put a guy in there. Gareth Edwards was like, no, I like Donnie Yen. I want Donnie Yen in. Because it's quite evident that was the director's decision who got cast in that role. Whereas I think if you left it up to Disney, they would have given it to a generic dude. You know what I mean? But, you know what? It doesn't surprise me that Donnie Yen is all up in that marketing. At all. But, you know, I mean, I just thought that was a clever marketing move on their part. In terms of keeping everything consistent in line with the original trilogy, I know you want to see it move on, but that's just Disney trying to cater to... You got to understand, a lot of the older fans are kind of really burnt by those prequels. You know what I mean? Like, fucking... Yeah, I know a lot of people still that... You know, I got one friend that hasn't even seen 7. He's like, no, I don't care. I've been duped 3 times already. Why should I watch 7? I'm not even going to watch Rogue One.
That's his choice.
But that's his choice. But you know what? Those that have given it a chance, everyone's coming back and they're like, oh my god, this is awesome shit. Some people don't like it because they're like, you know, for the reasons that you said, like the episode set. But you're always going to get people like that. But I guarantee you this, they're the first in line for episode 8. You know what I mean? Because they want to know what happens next.
Can I go into something that another one of my dislikes about the film? Well, it's not a dislike more than a criticism and a criticism of George Lucas. It's kind of reverse criticism now, purely because there's digital characters used in this film, and
while Leo's out the room, dead actors come back from the grave.
Yeah, and that's what was one of my big problems in episode. At the end of episode 3, they got a guy that looked like him, and it was convincing enough.
Yeah.
I don't know why they just couldn't do that instead of going to the uncanny valley of digital characters.
You see, I've looked into that, and they used a load of different techniques.
Sure, I get that.
They even use a mask and a suit, just like they did there, but they still put a digital overlay in it because they had to. Now, to be honest, that's how things are done now. And you got to understand, though, Joe, before you go all,
I've got every right to say that.
No, yeah, you do, to a degree. But what you've got to understand is, when The Phantom Menace came out, it was the first of its kind.
I'm not even talking about The Phantom Menace.
Well, either way.
I'm talking about digital characters. People blame him for the whole over CG use thing. Not using it in the right place. I am telling you right now, they made a wrong choice for doing that. In 5-6 years' time, that's going to look very... It's going to look like... what was that Final Fantasy film? It just doesn't look right.
Yeah, I hear you.
And,
but saying that, though, I was sat next to a guy, the Simba, one of Colin's mates. This is the guy who I went watched the film with. I know him from way back, kind of thing, how I met Colin originally, kind of thing. And I hadn't seen this cat in years, and we see each other at Rogue One, and we watched a movie. And he was complaining about Princess Leia, who I thought was flawless.
No.
I thought was flawless. Only because she's not in it enough. She's in it for a split second. You know what I mean? So, even if she looks bait, you've missed the trick. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? I haven't overly analysed it, but I'm not going to. I know she probably looks a bit off like Arnold in Terminator Salvation, but what I loved about Arnold in Terminator Salvation was that limited screen time. Mm-hmm. So you miss the trick. And that's the whole point. You're supposed to miss the trick, because it's a blink of an eye thing. We're talking, he's on there quite a considerable amount of time. Now, till December, he saw Princess Leia because he knows who Princess Leia is. So he was like, oh yeah, blah, 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 didn't like that. You know what I mean? Didn't like that, because I thought it looked a bit too fake on the effects. I was like, really? I was like, I see what you mean, man, because I was looking at Tarkin the whole time, and because this was my second time in watching it, so I was being, saying, yeah. So, and he was like, what are you on about? And then I had to explain. Mm-hmm. It's like, wow. Well, he said, I got to say that's some of the best CG he's ever seen, and he's a computer guy as well, because he didn't know who the actor was. He didn't know that he was dead. He thought he was a real dude. So it depends on your perception of stuff and what you know going into it. Mm-hmm. You know that he's dead, so you're going to overanalyze it. But if you don't know jack shit, that's who the trick's for. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
So the people who don't know.
Who don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. Mm-hmm. And I totally get what you're on about with the Final Fantasy thing there.
Yeah, it's just the whole uncanny valley of
totally. But I felt it, for me it was good enough. I mean, that character needed to be in it, considering what was at stake, what the story. They're talking about the Death Star. He was very crucial to that. And if you know about the lore and the canon, I actually thought it would be as much as a cameo, and even if it was the way they went about it, I would have been like, fine, if it was just a quick cameo. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like a 2-second thing. Like when you first meet him. And what I found out was, when he's got his back towards the thing, towards the window, and when he turns, that's the guy in the suit, and that's physical. Mm-hmm. It's a reflection in the window that's CG. Mm-hmm. And, they even use stock footage from A New Hope. Because in A New Hope, he used a lot of B-roll footage kind of thing, and especially the last couple of scenes when he calls for Vader. Mm-hmm. That's A New Hope. George Lucas shot that, but they added extra things to it, to make it consistent with Rogue One. Mm-hmm. They did another thing. I don't know whether you saw that. I like the little touch with. This is a bit spoiler, but it's a cameo, so it's not a spoiler to the plot, but something which I really loved. And Leo's not the biggest Star Wars head, so it'll go over his head when he watches it. But I'm going to say it just so he looks out for it. Gold Leader and Red Leader are in this film, and yes, the same actors, looking just like they did in '77. Mm-hmm. What they did again, same technology. Gareth Edwards used B-roll footage, takes that weren't used in A New Hope for the Death Star run. Got those actors, because they filmed all of that in blue screen, so it's just literally them in their X-Wing cockpit things. George Lucas shot them in their X-Wing cockpits against blue screen. He took that B-roll footage, and because this is filmed in 70mm, the same style as A New Hope, it blends so wonderfully well that you've got the actual actors from A New Hope, and the CGI background's different for the different terrain that they're in or part in space, and it feels so. And those actors were English, so they were dubbed anyway for A New Hope, that they got the same voice actors back, redubbed them for whatever lines they needed to say in the battle, and it was just like, oh my god, that's the guy, that's Gold Leader, that is Red Leader, with their squadrons going in. And then, what I like, the big thing, Red 5, pull up, and then Red 5 gets destroyed, because who fills Red 5's place in, A New Hope?
I don't know.
Luke Skywalker.
Well,
Luke Skywalker is Red 5. He's like, All S4's in attack possession. S4 standing by. S3 standing by. Red 5 standing by. You know what I mean? Red 5 is Luke Skywalker. For me, that was a big touch.
This film, addresses something in the Star Wars trilogy that people have been going on about for decades.
Yeah, it has.
What is it?
A continuity error that every Star Trek fan would rip us to shreds. There's been parodies about this.
Right.
What is it?
Can you tell me? Is he allowed?
Well, I think you should know. What's the whole point of the... what's the plot to the movie that you know?
What, this film?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to get plans with the Death Star, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, they're trying to get the plans for the Death Star. The architect of the Death Star... The whole basis of the plot is basically...
Chew first, dude. Chew first. We're eating pizza.
Sorry,
guys.
I had to eat. Basically... The main character, her father is a scientist that created the Death Star.
Right.
Kind of thing. And, you know, he wants revenge on them splitting up his family and shit. So he leaks the plans of the Death Stars to the rebellion, and that's what they're after.
Right. So what's the continuity error?
Well, the continuity error is he purposely left a flaw in the Death Star. A small exhaust port. That if one tiny little spark went, boom. They've made it an actual... They've made that flaw in the whole thing...
The crux.
The crux of the whole film.
Oh, that explains a lot.
And that explains not just the first Death Star, because the second Death Star was being built simultaneously, according to canon. So those plans were being used, which also explains why they used the big shield on Endor to stop anyone from fucking it up. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? They more or less filled in that thing, that plot hole that everyone would like to go, yeah, Star Wars, blah blah blah, but one pilot and that and whole thing, that's a bit of a stupid thing. You know what I mean? They fixed it. It's part of the narrative. It's part of the plot to the story.
So people are happy now.
Yeah, some people are happy. Some people are not so happy. But you know, can't please everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what tangent were you on before I interrupt you?
We were just talking. What Joe didn't like. What Joe didn't like.
I was downstairs collecting pizza.
Yeah. What was the third thing? Because I've got three things too.
So the music score. As I know, Michael Giacchino only had 4 weeks to do this.
Agreed with you.
But it felt flat. I don't know what orchestra he used, but it didn't sound like Star Wars. But I guess if that was the running theme going through this whole thing, that it's set in the Star Wars universe, but it's not Star Wars, then fair enough.
I didn't think the score was that bad, but I do have a complaint with the score. I felt when it had the John Williams music, it was a good, but it was probably one of the better versions that I've heard that isn't John Williams. I thought he was on point because he has that sound that sounds like John Williams. But in terms of the score, I felt the score was very run of the mill. You know what I mean? It was very generic because of the limited time that he had. And when you walked out of that film, you didn't have a new additional score
might also
to hum to.
Might
like
also be though that because the other ones are so with John Williams, because it's such a huge thing. Like you know, they're a lot more grandiose.
Yeah. Well,
whereas this film is kind of like a Star Wars story, not as opposed to a Star Wars like because. My follow-up question to pretty much everything now is like, okay, so this leads on to A New Hope. What's the next Star Wars story?
Oh, it's Han Solo.
Han Solo's story. Okay, and then after that, have they said
we don't know yet.
Maybe Boba Fett or something else. Who knows?
But
but yeah.
Who's playing Han Solo? They confirmed now.
Yeah. Aidan Ehrenreich.
Yeah, that's it.
The guy from the Coen Brothers, Hail Caesar.
And they've got Lando Calrissian's in it as well, and they've got
Childish Gambino.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Donald Glover. Yeah, I heard about that. That was good. I was happy about that.
Yeah.
Because he's a good actor.
Yeah, he is a very good actor.
He was great in The Martian.
Yeah, he was really good in that. I keep forgetting that he's in that film, but yeah, he's really good in that. I can't. He's got that same type of charisma that what's his face Billy D. Williams has as well. Very, very just cool. which is cool. And
so what you're saying is we might see Childish Gambino and Donald Glover doing Colt 45. The adverts for the beer.
I've not seen that.
Oh, okay, that's what Lando Calrissian was doing after Star Wars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice, I didn't even know that. Wow. Okay, but, yeah, there's school.
I agree with you.
So, in saying that, I still think Michael Giacchino, or Giacchino, who some people call him, I think he's the closest to what William sounds like. He uses a full orchestra, so I would say he's the right choice, and he's again got that same feel as.
He needs more time on the score than he did.
Oh yeah. I mean, Williams has started to score episode 8 now, and he's got a whole year.
Yeah.
And so, in that front,
who did they go with before? Because they had someone else, and they didn't like the score.
Oh, that was oh gosh, what's his name? I can't remember, but it was some other dude. And
so they had this guy. They didn't. The guy before. They didn't like him, so they gave 4 weeks.
No. I don't think it wasn't that they didn't like him. He had because of the reshoots, he couldn't finish scoring the film, so he had another job that he was contracted to do. So he jumped onto that, and so Giacchino took over, and. Right. I guess that's where the problem lies. Is that
what was I going to say? Aside from the score, the one thing I felt that aside from Jyn Erso and Galen Erso, I felt the characters were a little underdeveloped in some of the characters. There were some characters I really wanted to know more about than others, like. We got the sense that Donnie Yen and his mate were close pals. Mm-hmm. But I want to know more about them because they were more of the more interesting characters. Mm-hmm. And the main lead, male lead, him, he was a cool character, but I really wanted to know more about him. Mm-hmm. You got that sense that he'd been through shit. Like a lot of shit.
That's not the first time I've heard that, by the way.
Yeah, by what he said, by how he speaks to her and etc. And you could tell he was one of the most interesting people there because he kills in cold blood. Yeah, he kills people in cold blood, like straight up. I'm not going to say what happens, but he does that quite a few times in this movies, kind of thing. He's one of the most interesting people and probably the most like a rebel insurgent in any of them. That guy's like the James Bond of Star Wars.
He's like, I wouldn't say that. He's like the CIA for that organisation. Oh, you got to go there and do this. You got to do our dirty work.
He's essentially Jack Bauer.
Yeah. If Kiefer Sutherland was in this film, it would give it an edge.
Yeah. Hey, don't rule it out, man.
Don't say Jack Bauer. Say Triple X because that's what it sounds like more.
But you know what?
Triple X.
Triple X, as in...
Yeah, I know what you mean. But why?
Because he doesn't give a fuck.
No. I'd say Jack
and
Bauer.
he's a lot more hardcore. Jack Bauer's a bitch.
No. I would be as afraid of Jack Bauer than... if I was going to be afraid of any one of those guys, Jack Bauer's the person you'd be afraid of.
Isn't he a good guy?
Jack Bauer?
Depends which
way does he ride the line?
Have you never seen 24?
Season 1.
Okay, so when you get past that season, there's a lot that's happened to him, and all bets are off the table. It's about his daughter now. He's bringing up his daughter. Yeah, he's bringing up his daughter now, and that's his priority. And that takes his character to different places, man. Keep it.
Chew your mouth closed, bro. Fucking hell. He can hear it. I can see that he hears it. He's gonna have to edit it out.
All I can tell you about if you ever come to watch 24 again, his character does things that it's going to lose some impact now because we've had a black president, and back when those episodes of 24 came out, it was like. It was unthinkable. It was like, what, a black president? Are you insane?
Yeah.
And because it was for ongoing TV show as well, and I know there've been black presidents in films, but for ongoing TV show, it just wasn't thought of, and the scenarios that happened with that as well. Anyway, I'm going into a different area, but Jack Bauer or Kiefer Sutherland, he plays that character so well.
What this character, as you're saying, is like.
Is similar. I wouldn't say he's the same as Jack Bauer, but.
By the way, first black president I ever saw in a film. Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, Deep Impact, right?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to say that. And so, I can't remember where I was at now. Yeah, so in terms of the character development, yeah, I agree with you on that. A lot of the characters in that were very. If they died, you wouldn't miss them. Some of them died in like the robot. I forgot his name.
He was great.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely one of the most sarcastic robots in Star Wars.
Are they not afraid that this whole Star Wars story, Star Wars whatever Episode 8 is going to confuse?
And going back into my point,
well, that's why Joe's
Mom, Papa in Oklahoma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like hardcore fan, even like semi fans like me.
Well, this is why
that's what Joe's been trying to say
from day
one.
I said, why did they lose the episode of the normal episodes? Because you knew what you were getting. Oh, this is episode 7. You didn't even have to put episode 7 in bold letters. People could figure it out. Okay, episode
I can
7.
tell you why. 1 word, 2 syllables. Begins with M.
Money.
Rhymes with honey. Yeah. Money.
Even
Once you
so,
make a hit, right? It's a license to print money.
Sure, but people would go regardless of what it's.
Yeah,
called.
no, but it's a license to make more money.
Yeah. The other thing
You've got to
is,
remember that at the end of the day, these production companies are businesses.
Yeah.
All they care about is their bottom line.
Yeah.
So, yes, last year we made X. This year we want to make X times 2, X times 3. So they're like, okay, we'll invest a bit more because we will make. Like Star Wars made $1 billion. It didn't cost them $1 billion to make.
No.
So they already went up. So now they're like, maybe we can hit twice again. What? I don't know if you could bring the numbers up, right? Opening weekend. What is it made?
It was on 75 million yesterday.
75 million. How much did it cost? Is that worldwide or is that?
I'm not sure. I'll have a look.
By the end of this podcast, I will teach Sacha to close his mouth while he chews. Kind of thing.
Okay, so it's made 155 million worldwide.
What was the budget for it?
200 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 2/3 of the way there, and it's not even 1 week, right? 7 days.
Yeah, but its opening weekend is where it makes its bulk of its money. And 200 million is a lot for a Star Wars film. Lucas was making them for $1.05. So his returns on all of his Star Wars films were in profit by the first day. And yeah, this has taken a whole weekend just to get to a refresh point. And this is, I'm going into a different area here, but this is where George Lucas says that if cinema as it stands doesn't plan for the future, there will be no cinema or movie going experience, because the ticket price has to go up, because the ask for these films are going up, and so that in whole is pricing people out from going to the cinema. And his way of thinking was that, okay, if we reduce the prices of these films to the necessary budget constraints that they need to make them, you can keep the price of the tickets down. And everyone's ignoring that completely. And they go, how much was Batman vs Superman? That was like a stupid amount.
300 mil?
Close to it, yeah.
Sorry about all the noise, folks. I'm trying to pull a Coke out of a bag, a plastic bag, but Sacha still does not know how to close his mouth when he chews. That's why occasionally he'll go quiet once I say it, and then he goes, excuse me, and then he'll go again. Look, he's done it now. He's quiet. There we go. Give it 5. Go back to the shopping.
Okay, there we go. Batman vs Superman. So that cost
330 million. No, it's total gross. Well, it makes money back.
Worldwide. Oh right, it made quite a bit worldwide. What the hell? Oh wait, 250 million is how much it cost.
So it made 100, basically just under 100 million back.
Yeah.
Like over. So it's made money back and 100 million over. I'm surprised.
But
I genuinely am surprised. That must have been all opening weekend, because after word of mouth, that I'm genuinely surprised.
Yeah, it dropped off like a stone. This film, so that the fact that it made this much, I think, just is purely because you have to see something that's good. Batman and Superman in your film and it doesn't pass $1 billion, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
Because if
what do you think Justice League's going to
I don't know. I don't see it hitting probably the same as this.
I reckon the most popular character in that whole entire thing
is Batman.
No.
Flash.
Aquaman.
Jason Momoa.
You like him?
Yeah. Did you not see the fuck? He's been on them. He's been the most impressionable character when it comes to marketing himself, which Intel markets Aquaman.
Yeah.
Because did you see the thing where he advertised this axe throwing bar?
No.
Dude, he's like, yeah, I'm Jason Momoa. I like drinking beer and throwing axes. And he's got this tomahawk axe.
Yeah.
Takes a sip of beer and he just fucking throws it, hits it on the target, walks back and goes, "That's how you do it, motherfucker," like that. And it went viral. Like it's so like, and you're just like, yeah, Momoa is just a fucking awesome dude.
Wow. Okay. Well, as you say, if any pluses that makes these films watchable, then fair enough. I mean, because after this film, I didn't even watch Suicide Squad. I don't care.
You should still watch it. I think it's pretty good.
I can't be bothered.
Yeah. I said on my podcast which my favourite film of the year was, and it was Bang Bus 23. I still think that underneath that would be Suicide Squad on the list, and it's not top ended, but Suicide Squad definitely passed my curiosities and took my attention.
Right.
You go on to quote Django Unchained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in saying that, going to production budgets, I don't know how we've gotten to production budgets, but I still think that.
You were talking about the cost of a film.
And talking about taking episode 7 off episode 7, and whatever episode 8's called, because at the moment it's just called Star Wars 8 or episode 8, I still think putting the episodes on the Star Wars films will keep. If they're trying to differentiate the two franchises, the story franchises from the episodic franchises, then they should keep the episode number 1, even if it's in a small, just at a footnote. Just this is episode 8, or just say something in regards to that, because that will help.
I think they might from now on, to be honest, because those discussions, believe it or not, are happening at Lucasfilm right now. It's been addressed by her, and she's a smart woman. She's been in the biz for ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She knows what she's doing. You know what I mean? These might be initial concerns, but trust me, I think everyone at this point get it. You know what I mean? Those that saw episode 7 get that that's episode 7. Those going into Rogue One now, they're like, okay, this isn't the next part. Okay, I get where it is now. Do you know what I mean? I think there'll be a change. We'll find out a lot more in January, where they have their little summit.
Yeah. That
they said they were going to have, because they're talking about the future of Star Wars in January. You know, because even Bob Iger at Disney said they don't expect this to make the mad money compared to the last film, because they know it's a risk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They know it's a risk, but they're not afraid to carry on with them.
Yeah.
Because they know they have the potential. So, you know, Disney are playing it smart. they're going to do what they did with the Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In terms of, okay, we're taking an awful risk here, and we know the Incredible Hulk was a miss, but we're, if Marvel had the rights to Hulk, which they don't, but if they wanted to do another Hulk film, Disney would be on board with that. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because they know their shit. You know what I mean? Same with Kathleen Kennedy at Lucasfilm. That's still to be proven on how 8 performs, but we'll see. Back to what I didn't like. One more thing. This is the nitpick, because those two were the main things. The score and under character development there. The last thing I didn't like, and this is a big nitpick, because I am a fucking nerd. Darth Vader. I didn't like cosplay Darth Vader. If this is to happen moments after episode 4, right?
Before.
Yeah, before episode 4.
Before A New Hope, yeah.
Yeah, before New Hope. He has to look like a New Hope Darth Vader. I can see the costume designer noticed that his helmet had red eyes compared to Empire, Jedi, and even Revenge of the Sith, because they went and
What do
did.
you mean red eyes?
He has red eyes in the New Hope.
So the visor.
The visor's like tinted red, like a black red.
Yeah.
Is it not being edited now?
No,
For the
it
new
stayed.
ones?
It stayed like that. So
The
much.
remastered cuts. No?
Even in the remastered cuts, it's always been. In New Hope, he has red eyes.
Because I'm guessing this guy has different suits, different versions of that
Yeah,
suit.
I guess so now. But it's like it was just I was expecting that suit, especially when the Rebels Darth Vader is that, you know what I mean? Is that Vader kind of thing. So I was expecting that Vader, and then the suit they got was quasi. He had the red eyes, but they had the suit to kind of look like Empire and Jedi and Sith, but it looked like a really bad version. I just thought it looked like bad cosplay a little bit.
Looked like Darth Vader to me. But
As long as it sold it to the casual audiences, that's fine. For me,
Are there any Jedis?
for me it looked.
Darth Vader.
Apart from Jedi.
They're all but extinct.
Oh really?
I think is the correct term.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I keep forgetting because I haven't seen. I do apologise for my stupidity, audience. I'm not very well versed on Star Wars lore, so I'm there, here or thereabouts. But I thought there were. What's
Order
his name?
66 killed all of them.
Well, not all of them, most of
I
them.
thought Donnie Yen was a
No, he's not a Jedi.
Hmm.
He's force sensitive.
right.
That means he could be a Jedi, but he was never trained.
Does that mean like that maybe John Boyega's character? What's his name?
Oh,
Finn?
Finn.
Could be force sensitive because he could. Because I always thought lightsabers were a Jedi weapon and can only.
No,
be
anyone
wielded
can.
by a weapon
Anyone can wield
by a
one.
Jedi.
Because Han Solo wields one to cut up the Tauntaun in Empire Strikes Back. So
That is true, yeah. But he's force sensitive. Maybe he might be force sensitive too.
Nah, it's not.
Because him and Leia had fucked, and now they have like one of the most powerful Sith kids ever.
No, I don't think Han Solo's. He's definitely dead. He ain't coming back as no ghost spirit.
I didn't say he was ghost.
Yeah.
I just said force sensitive. Doesn't mean he has to come back as a ghost spirit.
Yeah, true.
He doesn't have to come back as a force ghost just to be
No.
to be force sensitive. It's like you know.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know, like it'd be interesting. I genuinely thought Donnie Yen was going to be Jedi in this because he looked like he was using Jedi skills.
No, he's just
a badass.
He's just a badass.
Yeah. Okay. Donnie Yen is a badass though. To be fair, so.
Speaking of ghosts, the ghost is in this film multiple times.
Which
For those that don't know what the ghost is, if you watch Star Wars Rebels, the ship is in the final battle. It's also on the Yavin base, and you can hear Hera from Rebels through the communications during the battle. The voice actress that plays her, you can hear her. So there's nice little tie-ins there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you're, it had loads of that. Like I said, Gold Leader and Red Leader are in there. You see the fate of Red 5, and only for Luke to get the call sign later on. I thought those were nice touches.
Okay.
But Joe, we've said what we didn't like. What did you like? What did you love about this movie? What were your favourite parts? Without spoilers, that's going to be really hard.
Just some things that I've not seen before, like scope, the size of things.
Yeah.
That Gareth Edwards really got the feel of these things are massive.
Yeah, but that's because he's fucking good at that. Look, I mean, he gave that big feel to Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
I genuinely felt when watching Godzilla, I was like, this sounds like Chris Stuckman, by the way. This conversation.
Yeah, I know.
It feels exactly like his review, non-spoiler review, but he's right. You do feel like the Godzilla is massive. Like and hopefully that transfers to me tomorrow when I go watch it.
Well, I gotta say that though, you had a big, you know what? In any Star Wars film, I finally got the scope of how big a freaking Star Destroyer was. You know what I mean? Compared to say the Death Star. Because when they revealed the Death Star with that dish, you're like, holy shit, everything's gigantic here. And especially like when they're on Jeddah, that Death Star in that Star Destroyer in the sky and stuff, and even how big the Death Star is compared to other planets and stuff.
How big is the Death Star compared to other planets?
Well, it's a moon, right? But it's fucking huge. Because you see the difference in size between it next to a planet.
Trust me, what he does with scale in this is awesome.
Did they ever talk about how long it takes the Death Star to be made?
Yeah, well, from episode 3 to
about 20 years.
Yeah.
It's taken 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah, because they're collecting all the crystals.
Yeah.
On top of like hiring all the subcontractors to build it.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah.
The Kevin Smith thing.
Yeah, but that's true though, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Do they address that? Please tell me.
Don't really go into that.
I don't want to spoil this film for you. Just watch it, man.
They should though, right? That
just
should be something
just
they
watch
fucking
it.
talk about.
Just watch it. Just watch it, man.
We told everybody to leave
but,
for the weekend. It's a bank holiday weekend. We've told all the contractors to leave, and that's when the rebels attack. Because they're like, "Oh, we're gonna fucking do this thing." It's like, "No, hold on. This guy's building this thing. Like, you know, my cousin's up there. Can we wait until the weekend? He's off. Yeah, okay."
So anything else?
Yeah, there is one more thing actually.
K2SO.
Yeah.
That's the droid, right?
Yeah, and that's a visual effect, and that's a really good visual effect.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah, that's a
no practicality.
No, it's a visual. He's a complete 100% visual effect, like Jar Jar was. So, again.
Whoa! Wasn't there like a really thin black dude inside the Jar Jar costume? I'm pretty sure there was.
Yeah, but that's the point is that it's a visual effect. He was the first visual effect of that type.
Oh, okay.
In any film.
Right. Okay. I get it.
And now they've just got it. They've got it down to a science now. You can't tell.
Yeah.
You cannot tell. Yeah, can't tell. And so I was really impressed by that. That was I really loved that, and the character itself, you'll love that character, man. Is brilliant.
I like how you point at me, and go, "You'll love it." Cause
no, because do you know when you just felt in Star Wars that why didn't you just say that? This guy says everything. Okay. He says everything that he's thinking, and he'll just go into. Oh yeah, I was going to kill you, but...
It's really funny, because I screenshot something and I tagged you in it, Sacha. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, okay.
But you may have, actually. And it's a screenshot of my timeline on Facebook. And the first person on there was a friend of mine, a friend of mine called Mr. Black Deep Singh. And he wrote, "Star Wars Rogue One is a piece of shit, waste of time, 2 hours wasted of my life." And right underneath that, the next status was, in huge writing as well, "Star Wars is fantastic. You need to go see it." So I screenshot. I was like, "That's two contrasts right there." Yeah. Screenshot and I tagged him.
Well, this is the thing, and this is why, if you keep centering these films around that original saga, you're going to have people that are stuck in that time loop that just want what they got before.
Yeah.
And if you move it past that, then you can't complain.
I actually know someone that didn't like it because there wasn't enough Jedis.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
That's like. But that's not the time period we're in. But I get what you're on about, Joe. But those films will come.
Well, my problem with the new anything past episode 1 now, in terms of Jedi's, you will not see what Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor did ever again.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm going to call it now.
In terms of the most, okay, the fighting stuff.
He's moved the mic, people.
Yeah.
He's sitting forward. He's engaging. He's got some shit to say. All right, go for it, Joe.
Okay, so when George Lucas showed us, okay, this is what Jedi's can do, I was blown away by that. The double-sided lightsaber, the martial arts, and all the people said it looked like a dance, but if you come across 3 masters that and are anticipating something, it's going to be like that because they're waiting for you to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And so when you go through that, just like right at the end of that battle of episode 1, when spoilers, Liam Neeson dies, it was Liam Neeson made a mistake, and so he exploited that, and it was because it was such a precise movements that they were doing.
Yeah.
That one little split second.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that.
The noise and everything.
And that's why I really appreciated the attention to detail in that whole fight sequence.
Yeah.
And the Kylo Ren fight with Rey was weak.
Yeah.
It was really
But
weak.
there are aspects you have to take into account.
Yeah.
He's not a master. He's still a trainee Sith.
Yes.
And she
doesn't know how to fucking use a lightsaber.
Well, here's the thing. You say that, but she's been a vaguely attractive white girl on a fucking scavenger planet who has to fend for herself amongst smugglers, rapists, whatever, out in the desert, living against a walker. They had a scene right at the beginning when she meets Finn. She's about to get fucked up by these dudes, and she fucks dudes up for a living, bro.
Yeah, but there's a difference.
She's more streetwise with her stuff that she carries, okay, than my man is with his lightsaber.
I understand.
So she knows martial arts to a degree. The other thing is though,
dude, they're 2 different weapons.
Yeah, they're 2 different weapons.
They're 2 different weapons. Just I'm good with nunchucks don't mean I'm good with a sword. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
They're completely used in completely different ways.
Okay.
This is like I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
she's more streetwise,
yeah.
but they are used in completely different ways.
Yeah.
But go on.
But he's more privileged as well. You know what I mean?
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, he's more privileged. He comes from a very privileged background, if we're going by what the films went through. Sure, his dad's a smuggler, but she's a frickin' princess. This guy hadn't have to work for his fucking life the minute they took back the Senate and shit. Man was probably chilling on Naboo, or like fucking, like Alderaan 2, or whatever.
Because he was trained by fucking Luke. Mm-hmm. You're forgetting that.
Yeah, later on.
Yeah, but Luke's like #1 Jedi badass. Like, do you think, like, even being around that person, he's not going to pick up some skill?
Yeah, maybe.
Not in the same way that Obi-Wan was.
Yeah, and not in the same way that Qui-Gon was.
Yeah, but he was definitely taught by. And we're getting into we're arguing about semantics here. I'm just telling you, he was taught by Luke.
Yeah.
Luke being the granddaddy fucking only Jedi.
But is he? But is he though? I mean,
that's why
if Samuel Jackson has his way, he'll be back.
That's why I just said beaten up like a pussy hole in the original trilogy.
That's why I just said like supposedly.
Yeah.
That's why I said supposedly.
It's very sexist.
He didn't have any. He didn't have like. He's supposedly the biggest badass on there.
Yeah.
And yeah, like he would have taught something because he trained extensively to enhance into the Force, right? Whereas like, let's be honest here, Luke Skywalker became one with the Force in like a day. I swear to God, like a day.
It feels that way. It does feel that way.
It's like a day. It's like
in episode 4.
Like because I swear to God, I don't know if anybody noticed, but. Fucking someone modelled Mr. Miyagi from Yoda. Like it is the exact fucking thing. He's like, I'm gonna make you do shit that's not necessarily doesn't look like it's supposed to be about this, but it is because I'm gonna whip it around at the end.
Well, okay,
that's what he fucking does.
Well,
and all of a sudden, like Luke's like, oh shit, man, I can like I can stop bullets and I can fucking
You can see the Matrix.
You know what I mean?
Like that rationale, you got to understand how long was Luke on Dagobah and how long was Han and Leia?
I don't know, man. A little
prison?
Text crawl would have been fucking
interesting.
Like 3 years later, or a week later, or just making me assume it's a day. Yeah, it's good because I don't know.
It could be years.
It could be years, but it could be a day. So I could be right, you could be right, right?
That's true.
So it could be very plausible. It could be super ridiculous.
George, what's the answer?
But they don't fucking talk
Lucas,
about it.
What is the answer? You wrote this shit.
And also, if it is a really long time, then I'm sorry, but the Empire are fucking procrastinators. Because a lot more should have happened if he was sitting around training in a fucking cave in the swamps with some fucking green dude who's about to die.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot more should have happened. That the Empire should have been like, okay, guys, this is where we're at. Like, there should be weekly meetings where they're like, okay, like, Steve, how are your key point indicators going? Yes, my key point indicator, my KPIs are on point. Fantastic. This is where we are at the moment. We need to take over here, and have the Death Star built by here. What's holding us back? And Roger would be like, well, we haven't installed the toilets yet. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
Like, Otherwise, there should be weekly meetings somewhere where Darth Vader's like, oh god, I gotta go through this shit again. Because that's another bit everybody forgets.
Yeah, Vader's like, I've set the trap to lure him out.
Vader's not just a bad dude, he's also got to be kind of corporate, because, you know, like, who funds the Empire? What's the economy like? There's all these questions I have nobody answered for me. But, basically,
that's what Governor Tarkin was there for, you know.
Either your man is fucking in a cave for a week, or a day, or whatever, and all of a sudden he's a Jedi Master, or your man's in there for ages, and the Empire procrastinators, and they're not as menacing as we make them out to be, because they can't seem to fucking get their act together for like a month. You get what I'm saying? So it's one of the two. Either way, plausibly, it doesn't sound very good for anybody. That's it. I'm out. I'll bring you a bit of logic in there. Drop the mic. I'll just go back to my coconut smile. I'll sit here quietly with a coconut smile.
Well, yeah.
What were we talking about again?
We were talking about weapons and how apparently.
Kylo Ren. Yeah,
okay, so at the moment,
yeah.
for me, Kylo Ren is right there with Vader. All because of right at the start of episode 7, he freezes a guy that was shooting at him and the laser that was about to hit him. That's gangster.
And then when he walks off, the laser's still there.
Yes!
And then it finally hits once he's out of range.
Yes!
Yeah.
I ain't seen anything like that before. So, JJ, I take my hat off to you. That's something I've never seen before, and I'm so impressed by that.
You know what I love? I love Oscar Isaac's expression.
Yeah, because that was my expression. I was like, what?
He's like, what? I got a sense that those two know each other quite well.
Who?
Oscar Isaac and Kylo Ren.
There's a history there.
Yeah, there's totally a history there.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know, because Kylo Ren's still like... Do you know what? I really like Kylo Ren's character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think it was done really, really well. I have a few questions. Why does he wear the mask? There's no need for him to wear the mask.
No, there's no... I think
it's just for effect purposes.
Yeah, he's trying to emulate...
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other... Yeah, but then by emulating Darth Vader, he would have to redeem himself to the light side, correct?
The other thing is though, he was shot by Chewie's bowcaster, right in the gut, in the gut.
Oh, right.
Okay. Now, one thing they established throughout that movie.
What was the punching thing for when he was punching himself?
Because he was trying to get psyched up for the fight, and plus he was losing a lot of blood.
Oh, I thought he was using force powers to close the wound.
They even showed. No, the force was keeping him alive, man, because he got shot in the fucking chest by a fucking bowcaster, which took out their stormtroopers dead.
Can I ask a
might
question?
add.
Sorry, just because again, I don't. There was a joke I never got in Star Wars: Force Awakens. Is there some sort of running joke about that bowcaster in the other ones?
No.
So right,
he just got an upgrade.
Oh right, I was curious because everyone sort of laughed and like he made a joke about the bowcaster, and I was like, is it linked? I didn't laugh. I was like, I mean, I think it's funny, but. I'm not like Joey from Friends.
Oh,
you just laugh when you don't know what I'm talking about. I was very much like, is it linked to something that I'm not aware of?
I just think like fucking. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect that thing to pack that much power because you always see it. You always see it, and he's always using the laser thing. He's using the cannons on that thing now for the first time that we've seen on film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought that was a nice fucking touch there because like fucking hell, like. That's why, like, Han Solo's like, I like this thing. And I'm like, I like this thing too. You know what I mean? Like, fucking hell. But, you know, he took one in the chest. Directly in the chest because Chewie raged. You know what I mean? Like, Chewie raged. And he's like, you took my boy out. I'm going to take you out, you punk. Bam. And then fucking, he's murked. He's murked from the beginning of that fight. You know what I mean? Then Finn decides to come and he's like, no, you're a pussy. Sliced. You know what I mean?
Murked meaning hurt in normal language.
She's more trained in like fighting than he is. Maybe I don't know because of the points I said before. He's at a disadvantage. Okay, so it's literally being.
It's even really because she doesn't know how to wield the lightsaber.
Exactly.
And he's
and he can't use his force powers because he's using his force powers to fucking keep it together.
I genuinely thought that when John Boyega picked up the saber, I thought, oh shit, is John Boyega like a secret Jedi or some shit? Like, is this a... Because, let's be honest here, really and truly, like, yeah, she's alright, I like her and stuff, but I prefer John Boyega's character in that film.
Yeah.
Like, that's me, like, his character, Finn, is my favourite character in that movie.
Yeah, same.
Followed by, in order, it would be him, and then it's Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
And then it's BB-8. And then it's Kylo Ren. And then it's Rey. Rey's at the bottom of my list.
Yeah.
I put BB-8. Yeah, BB-8 second. Like, BB-8 was good in that. It was really funny.
Back on... Sorry, man.
I'm going to go through my character as well, because Kylo Ren's my favourite character in that film.
I love how this has now become the Force Awakens review.
It's a Star Wars special.
Okay. Special. I thought we were talking about...
He did say that at the beginning,
yeah.
so like you were like,
sure.
was it a spoiler? And you said, no, it's a Star Wars special. So I think we're touching on all Star Wars.
Oh, okay,
really.
Yeah.
sure.
So
Anyway,
on a side note, fuck Attack of the Clones, but go
Yeah.
It's a bad film. Good... the thing is, I like elements of that film, but it's a bad film.
I don't like any.
Do you know what?
I like the Jango Fett fight. I like.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I like. That's what I mean. I can take elements from that.
But for me,
Count Dooku Yoda, man. That's the first time you ever see Yoda fight.
No.
I prefer Yoda fighting in Episode 3.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying one of the best aspects of that movie is the fact that Yoda's like, I don't fucking think. You know when he's like, he
the
throws,
old man the stick.
He throws a little
what's he gonna
staff
do?
away, and he's like, "What are you gonna do?" And he's like, "Underestimating me, you are." Like, and he just whips out, and he's like, "Let's do this, bitch."
Dude,
and I was like, "Fair fucking play."
Actually, no. Do you know what's even better than that? In Episode 3, when he walks through the door and it's Palpatine.
And he goes, he takes the two dudes out.
That I liked.
That's brilliant.
Because he's above them. He's just like, you're not even on my level. I'm a fucking Yoda master. I'm a Jedi master. But yeah, I mean, like the first time you see that when he rocks around the corner, like I got goosebumps. Remember it because that was the first time for me. He's like when he just goes, he's like, nobody's seen me fight. No, you're like, who is it gonna? Is it going to? Is it not? And then you see what he can do when he's like allowed to, basically. He's a lot more acrobatic than you expect him to be. I understand what Sacha's saying.
Yeah, that's what took me out of it.
I get it, and I totally understand. But we don't know anything about Yoda. We don't know what Yoda species he is.
Yeah.
We don't know if that for Yoda is slow.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if for him it's like, oh, I'm old now. Like that's slow for Yoda, and it's hard for everybody else.
Yeah.
But like, you don't know what he was like when he was younger. Make a Yoda prequel. Let's do this. Rogue One's fucking Star Wars story.
They probably will.
Let's do that.
Give it to John Lasseter. Make it a Pixar.
Yeah. If we do that, let's do that because I hope nobody at Disney is allergic to money because it will make all of the money. But yeah, because imagine like the toys you could sell off it.
Oh god,
if you bring up the entire like line of Yodas, like, and also fucking whip E.T. in there somewhere just for joke.
I know E.T. is in one of the prequel
yeah,
films.
he is in
episode 1.
Episode 1. No, episode 2.
No, 1.
I think
is
it's
it 1.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's right. He's episode 1 in the Senate. Yeah, when Keira Knightley is giving her speech.
Yeah.
Because it's not the other one.
Oh yeah, you're right. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Keira Knightley was the double. But yeah, I mean, like. Yeah, I liked him in that film. I think the other good thing about that is it's something that nobody ever addressed, which you kind of did touch on earlier, which is the fighting styles. If you notice, like it's a lot more martial arty.
Yes.
In the prequels, right?
Yeah.
In the original trilogy, it's very boom, but very 80s, 70s.
Yeah.
Like we don't really know how to do sword fighting and shoot it correctly just yet. So it's still in those early phases.
Yeah.
But they brought an element of different sword fighting because Dooku is a fencer.
Yes,
He fences, and I was like, that's different.
Yeah.
And fencing is like you would expect it, British.
Yeah.
Like upper class. He's not just a Jedi Master. He's a count.
Yeah,
so he's
exactly.
royalty. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, for sure he's gonna be a fucking. He's going to be using fencing, and I love that. I love that it was very barely any movements on his part.
Yeah.
With regards to the sword fighting, but it was still effective.
Yeah.
Effective that he still gave, like he took on Obi-Wan and Anakin on their own, like on his own.
He took Anakin's arm off.
Yeah, he's a G. Like that's Count Dooku. I mean, would it have been better to see Jar Jar just to fuck with like Ben Kenobi? Because he'd have been like, what?
If Jar Jar was the character that George Lucas wanted to go in the direction that George Lucas wanted to go with, I think that whole saga would have been very different.
Oh yeah,
it would have been very different in the sense of, oh my, that bait and switch thing. But whoa, I didn't see that coming.
Which is what brings me on to my bait and switch for Force Awakens and subsequent episodes after that.
Sorry,
it could be a bait and switch. For all you know.
You could be right.
And if I'm right, I swear to God, I'm gonna.
You're gonna shout on the streets. I was right.
I'm gonna ride it. Right. I'm gonna ride it to the ground, into the grave. I'm gonna be like, I knew it. Fucking Leo knew it first. I want that out there so people go, shit, that fucking Leo guy. And then someone from Hollywood's guy, do you know what, this fucking dude, he knows a lot about fucking movies. And then, no, he knows even more about fucking Star Wars. We're gonna make him to do the next Star Wars. And then I'm gonna subcontract the work to Sacha and have him as a ghostwriter, and then I'll take all the credit and all the money.
Wow, he's got a plan for it.
I mean, that's the plan. That's the plan if this just so happens to work out. I mean, I might just end up being right and people are like, which sucks balls, but there you go. But Sacha, you had a point you were going to make.
I did?
Yeah, we were talking about the weapons, just before the weapons, and then you talked about Attack of the Clones. See, I listen, see? And how about how we both like Yoda fighting, and maybe that might be fast, but slow for him, but fast.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Yoda fighting. I wasn't a fan of a lot in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, to be fair, it is a filler.
Yeah.
It's very filler.
Well, no,
it's not a good film.
It's not a good film.
Again, after watching all of them again, apart from the bad, the worst scenes in those films are between Anakin and Padme. If you threw all of that out, or just rewrote the lines.
And it's got plot points that go nowhere. I mean, like Jedi Master Sifo Dyas. Hello? What happened? They made a whole point about this geezer. He goes find the clone. Who the fuck is Sifo Dyas, man?
Some guy.
Some guy. I know who he is because I watched the Clone Wars and then they like went through those story threads. But it's like, why do I need to see an external thing to get that when you made such a fucking pivotal point out of him in that film? You know what I mean?
Sure, but
I think no sense. It's like me doing a Columbo mystery, okay? Like no fucking hell, fuck Columbo. Me doing a James Bond thing, and here's your
say fuck Peter Falk.
here's your M's like here's your mission, Mr. Bond. He goes does the mission. Then some other crazy shit happens. He's like, no, fuck the mission. I'm gonna do this. And he goes does that. You'll be like, what about your fucking mission, dude? You know what I mean? What's all that hour and a half of setup that you're supposed to go? That's what it does.
What are you talking about?
Sifo Dyas is just left. You're like, who is he? I'm interested in that. But
but that wasn't... Sure, you want to know who he is, but it wasn't necessary for that story element. You just knew that he ordered clones.
It's left, man. It's a left mystery, man.
Yeah, but again, it wasn't necessary to drive the story along.
Was
it? Yeah, you want to know who he is, but to be honest, it could have been friggin' Palpatine.
Oh well.
But this is what I mean.
There was just a lot of loose ends, man, in that film. I can't think of it straight away because I need to rewatch that afresh. But
one of the best fight scenes in that entire prequel trilogy is barring, which is the best one, regardless of what everybody says.
Duel of the Fates.
This Duel of the Fates, the last one.
Oh yeah.
The final fight with Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Is the final fight in Revenge of the Sith.
That's pretty good,
but
that's
pretty good.
Because that's more to do with anger. But when in episode 1, that was these three masters. Okay, well, he's the Paragon. I'm the master. You're the master. We've got to take this guy.
Yeah.
We've got to take this guy because we haven't fought one of these guys ever.
Yeah.
And so it was all about okay. He's got double-sided lightsabers. We've got to figure out his patterns. Whatever.
Yeah. He's got to be. You got to be fucking good to wield something like that.
This is what I mean, and this is why the whole fighting style was like a dance because they're both trying to figure each other out. Okay, what's his weak point? What stance does he use? If I go low, does he go low? Okay, he does. And it was a matter of figuring him out. And I loved that about that fight. It was a fight on a different level I've never seen before. And when Obi-Wan sees his master killed, you see how fast that fight got.
Yeah.
The tempo up.
He had to hit dark. He had to go dark side for that. That's what
I reckon so as well.
I genuinely believe there was a point where he's like, I'm gonna have to ride this line. I'm gonna have to dip my toe in to be able to beat him because imagine could we live in an alternate reality or go to one where Darth Maul becomes a bit more than that? I know he does in Rebels he comes back and shit. Is it Rebels? Rebels or
Yes,
Clone
Rebels.
Wars.
Clone Wars. I know he's out.
Yeah.
Like, because he comes back, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Like, but I would love to be in a universe where he won the fight.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh, that would be
Because
really
I'm not
interesting.
going to lie to you, he would fuck up Luke Skywalker. and
Oh,
the lightsaber
big
fight.
time, big
Like, Luke
time.
Skywalker's a lazy duelist.
Yes, all of them are.
Yeah.
It's well, I say all of them.
Look at the
There's
fight.
only two.
Look at the fight between which was the first time, the first or second. Yeah, first or second doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
When Luke Skywalker fights Darth Vader.
Yeah,
Look how like lazy and sloppy that fight is.
yeah, I know.
And then look at obviously time periods choreographed.
A lot of people like that fight though.
Yeah, but then watch Darth Maul fight.
Yeah,
And
I know.
Look at Ray Parks just like seamlessly, like he just weaves this web of artistry when he fights. Like,
Yeah.
he just shits on like those fights from extremely distinguished height.
I know.
Like-
You're talking to the
Princess
converted
Leia.
man, and I always say this to Star Wars fans that love those original fights. Dude, Darth Maul would end all of these people.
Yeah. So you got to remember, like he was tired. He was fighting two guys, like two like proficient guys.
Yes.
Like, you know, and that's going to be difficult for him. It's going to take his time. And yeah, I get it. Obi-Wan had to beat him for the story to continue. But let's be realistic. Obi-Wan would have lost that.
What if Obi-Wan was a clone? He actually originally died, and it's the clone that taught.
Yeah.
You know what? Funnily enough, before Phantom Menace came out, during the 80s, that was one of the many theories about what would happen in the Clone Wars. One of the many theorized things that went on for a long amount of years was that he was actually called Obi-Wan, being he was a clone. You know what I mean? Of an Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
Yeah, that was actually a thing. Seriously, like way back when. The other theory was Anakin was a clone, and it was the clone that was the good Anakin, that was his friend, and the dark side Anakin saw this guy take his life and turned into Darth Vader. So that was another theory as well.
Almost like how the Joker keeps retelling his origin story to people.
Different ways.
Yeah, no, you know, people like trying to second guess what the prequels would be.
Right.
This is why the prequels never stood a chance, really, because I think for 15, 16 years, while there was no Star Wars films, everyone that grew up on Star Wars that was a hardcore super nerd had their own version of it. Do you know what I mean? Built up in their head. And no matter what came out, it would never match that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why I think we're at a good place now, because the first thing Disney did, which a lot of people are still angry about, was go, see this canon, we can't make those films. You know what I mean? We can't make those, we can't make sequels to all the lore that's out. You know what I mean? If we were to do that, Han, Luke and Leia, the story's not there. It's about their great-great-grandkids. No one wants to see that. We have the original cast. You know what I mean? We can't do Heir to the Empire, which is a good set of books. The Heir to the Empire trilogy, I recommend it. They can't do that because the actors are too old.
Yeah.
Way too old.
Unless they do that trick that they did in this
episode.
episode.
But, you know, they're too old.
Yeah.
And more importantly, you won't get Ford back for 3 films.
You won't get back for any films.
Yeah, that's just it. And it's just, you know what I mean? They took a gamble, and you know it's paid dividends. 2 billion don't lie. You know what I mean? And to be honest, yeah, like I said earlier, like the New 52, like you know, the Ultimate Universe, etc., etc. Like it was time to start afresh. You know what I mean? We're a new dawn of Star Wars. We're getting Star Wars every year. Let's keep it at that.
Yeah, until 2025.
Yeah.
Is that not? Yeah.
So we'll just see what happens, man. I mean, like personally, I really loved Rogue One, and I loved The Force Awakens. I like them both equally. Are they perfect movies? No, they're both not perfect movies, but they were enough for me to go, yeah, I fucking like that film. You know what I mean? And you know, that's just me anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. What do you think, Joe?
What we do
like on the current Disney slate that's come out.
I would say
Was there one you liked better? Did you like them both the same, or?
I think I like them both the same, but I would give Force Awakens a slight edge purely because
It's a new era.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I like I've seen the Jedi or a power I've not seen before.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was good to see Darth Vader again.
Yeah.
And all of that, but that what Kylo Ren can do with the Force,
Yeah.
I haven't seen before. So
okay.
I appreciate that a lot, and the whole mystery behind Snoke.
Yeah.
That's more intriguing to me than what happened before, or the
sure.
plans or anything like that. I've made my bed with that. I understand what happened, but that third act in this film, in Force, not the Force Awakens, Rogue One, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to get that at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith. We got a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And that. Most of that scene is really good. You just
No,
there's so much depth to the opening of that scene. But this one, wow.
Yeah, wow. It is a war movie.
Yeah, it's
but you know
really
what?
good.
You know what? And I know you probably don't agree with me, but for me and a lot of old school trilogy fans, those last 5 minutes, Dick was in my right hand and I was jerking off in that cinema. So hard. So hard. Trust me, the last 5 minutes of that film was fucking wank fest. Okay? Because like I said before, fan service like a bitch. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry. I wish I had more of that. That's my only thing. I wish the shot went on a bit longer to get more of that. And here's a hint to Leo, but he won't get it. But he has to delve back when we saw Fan 4 Stick. I said Fan 4 Stick is a very bullshit movie. But that scene with Doctor Doom where he's murking everyone, they need to do that in something else. And that's all I'm going to say.
We're going to bring this whole Star Wars special to a close. But before we go, we're going to play everyone's favourite game from 20 questions.
I think I've got you. I'm looking, so I'm going to be the guy.
Yeah, Leo Van-Dammage is going to be the one that has the film written down, and me and Satch will have to guess this film.
Okay. I'm going to give you 20 questions to pick this movie. Now, I believe you've seen this film. We have spoken about it.
Okay.
Okay. It is a film that it's off chart, but you know about it.
Okay.
Okay?
Alright, okay. Alright. Okay, cool.
When you're ready.
Alright. Do you know everything about this film, do you? Do you know the ins and outs and the... Well, you've got your phone there, so you
I've
can
got my
look
phone
it
on
up.
me, but I know like the year it was made.
Okay.
I know the actors that are in it.
Okay.
What else? What's the ins and outs? What other ins and outs I'm supposed to know?
Okay. Well, I'll go for the first question then. Is this film... was it made after 1978?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so...
Is it an ensemble cast?
No.
Okay. Is the director of this film famous?
Let me just double check for you. Just looking at the director's other body of work.
No, you should put some music at the back of this game, man.
Yeah, I would say that.
Hey, the post-production for this podcast is hard enough as it is. I'm not doing anything to make it harder for me.
You know what? Unfortunately, no.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, that helps. It's your go. How many questions is that every year?
3. You're 3 down. You got 17 questions left.
Is any of the male or female leads famous?
Yes.
And relevant today?
Oh, where's that? A separate question?
Oh, okay,
I don't know. You need to ask.
Do you want me to? Okay, let's.
I'll save that.
Okay, so.
So that was 4 questions.
Yeah. Okay.
So
okay.
are they famous? Yes. One of them is famous.
Okay. Is this an action film?
I reckon I'll get you with this one. But when I tell you, you'll go, oh, yeah!
Okay. All right. We'll see. Satch.
There.
We're waiting for me.
Yes!
Oh, shit. Sorry.
I said,
thought anyone would jump in.
I asked you, Satch, it's your question.
Okay, sorry.
I looked at you and said, it's
Sacha
your
doesn't
question.
pay attention.
Okay. Are the stars in this A-list now? Or are they big A-list actors now?
It's hard to decipher one of them.
Okay. Well, how about the main lead?
The main lead?
Yeah.
The main lead is not.
Okay, that helps out a lot.
Is anyone in this production dead? Now. Okay.
Well, okay, I'll help you out with that. None of the main cast that you see on screen are dead.
Okay.
No.
Like anyone you would care about. So identify this movie.
Is this a 90s movie?
Just double check that. It is a 90s film.
Okay, fantastic. Right. Okay. So, does this have a traditional music score or a music soundtrack? I don't know. That's not.
No.
Okay.
It's not. It does not have a defining soundtrack of which you would recognize it with.
Okay. All right.
So if I said to you that soundtrack for that movie, you wouldn't put it together.
Is this a horror film?
No.
So an action film?
No, I've already asked that.
Oh.
I won't take a point away from you for that.
What
right, so you're 11 questions in.
Oof.
What did he say for action?
It's not an action
It's
film.
not an action film. Okay.
Okay, so. Oh man, this is difficult. I have to eliminate this. Is this a comedy?
No.
Okay, so it's drama then. Is this a film series or is it a one-off? Is it a one-off film?
Yes.
Okay.
Guys, you have 2 questions left.
Can we have a
I'm
hint?
joking.
Can we have a hint?
Do you want a hint?
First hint.
Do you want a hint?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This film has. Try and think something that's not going to give it away. Just give me 2 seconds. All right. Okay. All right. It's more of a thriller than a drama.
Okay.
Because I could have given you either drama or thriller. That could have been your next question. I do define them as 2 different genres. So.
Okay, fair enough.
Right. So it's more of a thriller than a
Okay.
drama.
Okay, so we know what kind of films we're looking for, especially in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Got stuff like Slither, you got stuff like...
Slither's not a thriller, it's a horror.
Okay.
And that came out in the 2000s.
No, I'm talking about sort of Sharon Stone.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about...
Oh, James Gunn's Sliver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't picture any. Usually, I have a picture of what one of these films would be.
By the way, do you want another hint?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. You could consult with your partner here.
Okay.
Do you want?
I think we need another hint
Okay.
because at the moment it's just too much of a ballpark. We haven't got a lock on anything other than it's a 90s film and the genre. And you got to understand, it being the 90s, there's a lot of one-off films that fit into that category.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By a lot of.
But he says that we've seen it.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah. Definitely
Definitely
seen
it.
But it's left field for you.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about it.
So I think we need another hint.
Okay.
Totally.
Let's go for another hint.
Okay. So this is hint. So you've had one hint, so this is the second hint. I would say it's a good hint. It's been parodied.
Okay.
Enough to know that it's been parodied quite often for specific scenes.
Interesting.
Wow, I can't think what that is. Okay, so
actually, I'll tell you a film that parodied it.
No, don't do that. Oh.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a better one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a director who parodied this in his film.
Okay.
Yeah, in one of his movies.
Okay.
Kevin Smith.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Scream.
No. It's not horror. Scream's a horror.
Well, that was parodied.
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's why I picked Kevin Smith, because it's enough of a hint to know it's been parodied by Kevin Smith, but not enough that I would give it away.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, I think I've got it.
The more I think about it, go on.
I think I've got
Before I give you the answer, the more I think about it, there may be elements of drama here, but it's definitely more of a thriller.
Okay. All right.
I'll give you that one for free.
Okay.
So you got 6 questions left.
Okay.
And one hint left.
I can work with that.
How many hints did we use?
2.
2. Let's go for the third hint.
I don't think we need it, to be honest, because
just in case, I think we
Okay.
No,
got 6
hold on,
questions.
come on. You got 6 questions. I want to see if you can get it without the last hint.
Kevin Smith's got a very unique sense of humour.
Yeah.
And
Well, he's saying it's been parodied in the film,
If it-
so
it-
it's very specific to the films. Then.
Yeah.
So that's why I said scary movie, because I thought of Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, but like because that's the only thing I could think outright parody. But then the other thing I'm thinking of is Good Will Hunting, but that's a drama.
Okay, so
film.
he doesn't parody in what's the film with the lesbian?
Huh?
Nothing. Never mind.
He's thinking of Geely, not Geely.
Oh yeah, Jiggy.
He's thinking of
No.
fuck.
Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't parody on that, so it's got to be either Clerks, Jane and Silent Bob Strike Back, or Dogma.
Yeah, but you're also forgetting Jersey Girl.
He doesn't do anything in that.
Oh.
He doesn't parody in Jersey Girl.
Well, I don't know about that.
No.
Shit. Wait.
I don't think it's Jersey Girl.
I don't think it's Jersey Girl.
No, I don't think it's. That's where the parody lies. Because he does most of his parodying in Jane and Silent Bob.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So. Oh no, I was forgetting. What's the one he did? Was the sex tape?
Oh yeah, with Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Zach and Miri make a porno.
That's right. Yeah.
Porno. That film should be more bigger than what it is, man. That's such a joke film.
You've also got quite a lot of parodies that happen in Cop Out. Remember?
I've not seen Cop Out.
That's alright. You've seen this film.
Okay. Okay. Here's my next question. Does it involve? Is it set in one? Is there only one setting for this film?
What do you mean?
Is it set in one environment? Like a house?
No.
Okay.
No, it's multiple.
Okay.
Definitely multiple.
Okay.
Right, you have 5 questions left and 1 hint left.
Can we use the hint?
Discuss it with him.
Joe?
I don't want you to waste your hint.
Sure, go for it.
Hint.
Okay, we have spoken about this actor today. The lead acting role, we have spoken about him today. There's your third hint. During my podcast and your podcast, we have spoken about how I meet him today.
Oh. Okay, can I ask a question? Has this actor played an android before?
No.
Okay.
You now have 4 questions left. Ooh, dudes! Has this ever happened?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's happened loads of times.
There's 2 games that I've lost to. Well, 3 games I've lost to him. Okay. Crap.
It upsets me to see you've only got 4 questions left.
I can't even think what the film is or what the parody is.
Sach?
At this point. You can't cheat, Satch, man.
Thinking.
No, you're not. You're cheating.
I'm not cheating.
Yeah, you
Bet
are.
you are. Show me your phone right now without pressing any buttons. No, you fucker. Were you scrolling on your home screen, were you?
No, I was scrolling through my messages.
Of course you were.
I know, man.
He's probably got it now, and now he's just got to boy it off like he didn't cheat.
No,
Yeah, you do.
Okay, does it have a sci-fi element?
No.
I already asked that.
No, you didn't.
I just asked if it was set in... No, I didn't actually. No, I didn't.
Shit. I was going to say Arrival.
No. 3 questions.
When this film was released, was it a big hit?
Yes. Actually, before we do that, I'll answer your question.
Candy girl.
Candy girl, you are my world. I love that song.
And we mentioned that actor twice.
Yeah.
I can't think of who it is.
I'm just checking the budget of this movie. Hold on. But, I mean, I like, it is known. It's very well known to the point where it got parodied. Right? It is known enough for even, like, for a film to be parodied, and for you to know where that parody by Kevin Smith was from.
It's in the zeitgeist.
Okay. It made a lot of money. Like, it made a lot of money.
Okay. Okay, can I... was it the earlier half of the 90s this film came out?
Just double check for you, just to make sure. Stop looking at my phone, Satch. Cheating piece of shit. It is the earlier part of the 90s.
Okay.
Right, you now have 2 questions left. Use them wisely. Satch, you better ask some questions, because you're pretty good at this inquisitive shit.
Yeah, but I'm a bit thrown because you said we've mentioned him twice.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was Charlie Sheen, but it's clearly not because we just had like a big long conversation about him once. That's why I thought it could be Arrival at first, but it's not Sheen.
Now, we talked about it on my podcast, briefly, but we did mention him. And we talked about it on this podcast, and we mentioned it here too.
I can't think who that is, man. We talked about a lot of subjects in your podcast. Right, okay. it's gonna be. Oh, no.
You got 2 questions, dude.
Does it? I can't. I've got no more questions. I can't.
How many have we got?
I can't. We've got 2 more questions
left. You got 2 questions left.
I can't punch a hole through. There's usually something that leads me to a line. The only thing that I can go by is the Kevin Smith angle.
Yeah.
And there's only 3 films that I could see that would be relevant to him at that time when he was making films that he was
I'm going to make
parodying.
your life easy. Think carefully to the parodies that he has done.
Mm-hmm.
Think carefully. Think very carefully.
I know he did a Scooby-Doo one. I know he did a
Because I'd rather you get this than me beat you.
Okay, so he did a Scooby-Doo one. He did a Star Wars one. He did a crap. I cannot think of what this is.
Okay, I'm going to give you a free hint.
Okay.
It's in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
I knew it.
So you can forget the other films. That's your last hint. That was a free hint that I gave away to you. You should be able to narrow it down from that. It's parodied. It's in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Right. Okay. All I can see now in my head is the clip.
Yeah. Also, I'll also give you one more free hint. It's not Phantoms. Word, bitch. Phantoms like a motherfucker.
Okay.
2 questions. Oh, I can see the cogs in Sacha's head. He's trying to figure out.
He's fast forwarding through that whole film.
The Fugitive.
Good man. You got it.
Ah, okay.
Fugitive.
Nice.
It's Harrison Ford.
Tell him the scene. Tell him the scene.
That I didn't kill my wife part. When,
when he's in the tunnel with the water.
Yeah.
And the monkey.
Yeah.
And Will Ferrell standing there.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Jumps out.
Mate, I would never have got that.
Yeah, I told you it was going to be left field, right?
That is left field, but
wow.
You know what? That's not the first time we've had The Fugitive as an answer. Because I did that once,
but
through there,
I have to take points away from you because I had to give you Jay and Silent Bob for you to go through that.
I knew it was either 3. There's 3 films that he's done that he's parodied in, and I
feel like that was a good challenge for you guys.
Yeah, that was a good challenge.
That was.
Wow.
Thing is, right? Like up until the last moment where I picked the movie, I was gonna go with A Few Good Men.
Oh, okay.
You almost got fucked on this one. Double Jeopardy.
Oh, John Travolta.
No, Double Jeopardy is Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
And Ashley Judd.
Yeah.
I never saw that.
You have.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never seen
but
it.
I wasn't sure whether or not one of you had seen it.
Yeah.
So I was like, that would be unfair.
Is that any good?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
And then I had, just for fun, I was going to put Bloodsport, Kickboxer, and Double Impact. I had those 3 floating as well.
Okay.
Up until the last minute, I was like, okay, Bloodsport came out 88, Kickboxer 89, Double Impact 91. So I was like, they're a bit too close together. And then Double Jeopardy, I thought that would be the one.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I was looking at both, I was going, I don't know if they've seen it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went, no, I'll go Fugitive, which is 93.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, fine. We'll go on that. But that's not bad. You guys got all the way to the end.
Well, yeah, that was a good one,
right?
right? That was a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Leo, for that.
No worries, man. No worries. Thank you.
Wow, 2 hours. Okay, so yeah, that's the end of the show, people, audience.
Guys.
Guys. That's the end of the show, folks. Thank you for listening. Sach, you're available on Facebook and Twitter, aren't you?
No, just Twitter.
Just Twitter, okay.
Just Twitter.
So, yeah, you can find Sach on Twitter at Sachman3. Sachman3. And Leo, where can we find you?
You will find me on my podcast, What's the Damage podcast. It's on iTunes, it's on SoundCloud, it's on YouTube, soon to be Stitcher, and you'll find me on Twitter, What's the Damage, at What's the Damage, and you'll get me on. Fucking hell, this is long, isn't it? And you'll also get me on. You'll get me on Facebook, a Facebook page, What's the Damage I can't speak. What's the Damage podcast on Facebook, and that's when you'll find me. And from me an email, what'sthedamage@gmail.com. Cool. Shoot the shit, and any suggestions you want to give me, and blah 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 blah. Nice.
And also, you can, if you want to write into this podcast, the Zedos Gang podcast, is you can write in at podcast@zedosgang.co.uk. Tell us that we're crap. Tell us that we're great. Or just be opinionated if you would like, and
like me.
Oh yes, like Leo Van-Dammage has done, and yeah, you could also the Zedos Gang website is also available at www.zedosgang.co.uk, and also on Facebook and anywhere else that you can find the internet. But yeah. Again, guys, thank you, Leo. Thank you, Sach. This has been the Zedos Gang podcast, and we're out.
I did not kill my wife.